After joining in the session, please can you please keep your microphones in mute mode? Yeah, Maheshwari, keep your microphone in mute mode. This class we will start the concept called data structures. In the Python, we have four major data structures. So before that thing, we will go to the R script. We are writing everything in basic script. So for that script, we kept name as Python Basics, I think. It is a script which we are writing everything. I think till now you did not get my voice. Yeah, good. Now my voice is clear to you, I think. So here, today's topic is data structures. So for this, to save the time, here I am explaining everything in the script which I explained to the previous batch. So coming to the data structures, the purpose of data structures is in order to store the data or in order to process the data, in order to maintain the data in the structured format, we need to take help of this data structures concept. So in the real time also, if we want to store the data in an organized fashion, we are using, yeah, someone pinged in chat. I think now you're getting my voice. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, good. So here data structures. To store the data in an organized fashion, we need to take help of this data structures. In the Python, we have four major data structures. So this data structures also said as standard data types. So why means for any real-time application to store the data or to manage the data, we are using the standard data types or this data structure. That's why these are called as standard data types. These are also said as derived data types. Why means we are deriving the standard data types from the primitive or basic data types. That's why these are called as derived data types. In the today's class, we will discuss this list concept as well as tuple data structure. After finishing these two data structures, we will move to the new data structures called as set and dictionary. Coming to this data structures, list and tuple are, so in between these two things, we have little bit similarity. That's why first we will discuss these concepts. So if you go compare to C language, in the C language, we have concept called arrays. The purpose of arrays is to store the homogeneous data. Whereas coming to the Python list, it is similar to arrays concept only. Whereas here we can store heterogeneous data also, not only homogeneous data. Here we can store heterogeneous data also. So in this data structures, first we will start with list concept. So coming to the list, first point corresponding to this list is anything is defined in the square bracket will be considered as list data type. Coming to strings, anything is defined in either single quotations or double quotations, those are called as strings, right? Like that, anything is defined in the square bracket that will be considered as list data type. And if we want to separate attributes or values corresponding to list, we need to use comma. To separate each and every attribute present in a list, we need to use comma. Here comma works as a separator. And coming to this list data structures, these are mutable or changeable data types. These are mutable or changeable data types. Means once you define the list, you can modify that list. That's why these are said as mutable or changeable data type. In order to convert one data type into another data type, we call as typecasting, right? So like that, if you want to convert any other data type in the form of list data structure, we need to use this list typecasting function. And as I already told you, it is a heterogeneous or compound data structure. It is an heterogeneous or compound data structure. Means inside the list, you can define any kind of data. That means inside the list, you can define integer values, floating point values, as well as strings. You can define any kind of data inside the list. That's why these are called as heterogeneous or compound data types. First, we will discuss or we will see all these points in Anaconda. After that thing, we will go to the after that we will go to the we'll go to each and every point. So initially here I'm defining one list. So here I'm defining one list with the square brackets only. In this list here I'm specifying 1 comma 2.5 comma 2.4 comma. I am specifying triple ITB. I define this thing as a list. So after defining this thing, I want to observe type of L. I want to observe type of L. So if you observe type of L, it returns output like list. List attributes. So anything is specified in the square bracket that will be considered as list. And second point corresponding to this thing is here we are separating each and every attribute with comma. 1 is the one value and 2.4 is the another value. And we are separating these different values with the comma. Here comma is a separator which is used to separate different data types. Coming to next thing, it is a heterogeneous or compound data type. Inside this list, I am specifying integer value, floating point value, as well as string value also. And after this thing, we can modify the content of this thing. I want to replace the data which is present at the L of 0th index with the, here I want to replace this thing with my name, that is Jakub. And I am observing the content present in the list. Whenever you observe the content present in this list, this one will be replaced with Jakub. That means after defining the list, we can modify the content of that list. That's why these are called as mutable or changeable data type. So I think now we saw all the points corresponding to this thing. First one is anything is defined in this bracket is list data structure, and these are separate, each and every attribute in this thing separated by commas. After this thing, we can change the attributes of list. That's why these are called as mutable or changeable data type. And these are ordered collection of items. That means whatever the order we are specifying while defining this thing, whenever you observe the output, then also those are present at the same location only. So if you observe this example, at the 0th index I specified 1, and at the first index I specified 2.4, at the next index I specified triple TB. Whenever you want to, so whenever you access the data corresponding to this thing, then also it will be stay at the same location only. Whatever the order you specified here, the output also will be in the form of same order only. That's why these are called as ordered collection of items. You might get confirm, so you might understood this thing clearly while discussing the set concept. Then next, typecasting function. To convert any other data type in the form of list, we need to use list typecasting function, right? Or else in order to create an empty list also, we need to use list typecasting function. And I'm observing what is there in game. So if you observe this thing here, it is returning only empty square brackets. It is nothing but a list data type only. And here I'm observing type of A. Whenever you observe the type of A, it also returns list data type. So to convert any other data type in the form of list, we need to use this list typecasting function. It is about the basics of list. After this thing, you already aware of basic slicing, how to slice the attributes corresponding to each and every data type. How to perform this slicing? As yesterday itself, we saw this syntax. To slice the specific portion of the any data structure, we need to use this standard syntax only. In this thing, first we need to specify the data type name. So whatever the thing with which you specified the data type, you need to use that name. And so whenever you want to perform slicing, we need to use the square brackets only. In the square brackets, first we need to specify the starting index, and then next with the colon we need to specify the ending index, and we need to specify the step size. So by default, the starting index is always included value, ending index is always excluded value, and by default step size is +1 always. And if you don't specify the starting index, by default it will be considered as 0. And if you don't specify the ending index, by default it will be considered as end of the data structure. To make you clear this example, here I'm taking one more example. In this example, I'm taking one nested list. In this list, here initially I'm specifying, here in this thing, here initially I'm specifying 1. After this thing, here I'm specifying B131832. After this thing, I'm taking one more list. In this list, I am specifying IIITB. So after this thing, in this thing itself, I'm taking one more nested list. In this list, so I'm defining one more thing, GKT. So let assume this one is the example to understand this slicing clearly. We need to specify this thing in quotation. Why? Because it is a string, right? Yeah. So here it is the example, or it is the list which is defined by me. In this list, I want to access this B131832. How to access this thing? We need to access any attribute by using index only. In this thing, if you want to access the one, we need to specify L of 0. Whenever you specify the 0, it will return the value which is present at the 0th index. Whenever you want to access the B131832, here we need to specify the index as 1. Whenever you specify the index, it will return this string as an output. But in this string, I want to access this 8 as an output. In this string, I want to access this 8 as an output. So that is called as nested slicing. First, we need to enter into this string. How to enter into this string? L of 1, which is nothing but this string only. After going into this list, we need to access the character which is present at this index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4th index. In this thing, I want to access the character which is present at the 4th index. Whenever you specify this thing, it will return the character 8. So here it is called as nested slicing. Whenever you want to perform nested slicing, you need to increase the number of brackets. After this thing, to make it clear this example, in this IIITB, I want to access this T. In this IIITB, I want to access this T. So for that purpose, first we need to proceed to this entire list. So index of this one will be 0, and index of this B131832 is 1, and index of this entire thing will be 2. So here I'm entering 2. After entering this thing, now we are in this IIITB as well as RGKT. This is the entire list. In this list, initially we need to access this attribute which is present at the 0th index inside this list. So for that purpose, what we need to do here, we need to say first we need to enter into L of 2. After entering into this L of 2, we need to enter into this IIITB. So index of that thing is 0 inside this list. So again, we need to start slicing from this list. In this list, if you observe, index of this IIITB will be 0. And here I am accessing IIITB first. It returns output IIITB. Now we got this string. Again, from this string, we need to perform slicing. In this thing, we need to access this T. How to access that thing? How to access that thing? So after this thing, first we need to proceed to L of 2. After going into L of 2, we need to access that string, that is L of 2 of 0. After that thing, we need to access T from this thing. So T corresponding to which location? 0, 1, 2, 3, third location. Here I'm specifying that 3. Whenever you specify that thing, we can access the specific character corresponding to that thing. To make you clear this example, from this RGUKT, I want to print this K. How to do that thing? First, we need to enter into this list. That is, so how to enter into this list? First, we entered into this original list. Before this thing, I want to print the output present in, I want to print the output which is present in the list. For that purpose, here I'm saying L shift enter. It is the output. After this thing, first we need to enter into this list. After entering into this list, we need to proceed to this RGKT, which is presented first index inside this list. So whenever you enter the first index, it will return output like RGKT. So after getting RGKT in the output, again, if you observe this example, again that is also a one more list. So if you observe this thing, it is a one more list. And we need to proceed into that list. How to proceed into that list? So here we need to specify LF2. First we need to enter into this 2. After this thing, we need to enter into this first indexed character, that is RGKT list. From this RGKT list, we need to access this string, which is presented the 0th index. So I think you will access this thing. So you try to access this thing like this. So after entering into this RGKT, we need to access this k, right? For that purpose, 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3 is the index. We can directly access this thing. You might think like this. Whenever you try like this, it will return syntax error or in list index out of range. So if you observe this example, here it is giving this error. Sorry for the interruption. So if you observe this thing, if you try like this, it is returning list index out of range. Why? Because till now we accessed this list. After accessing this list, whenever you want to access the attribute corresponding to this list, we need to specify the index of this list. So index of this list will be 0 here. First we need to access that string. Whenever you specify that thing, it will return the RGKT list. So you might get the difference between this RGKT list as well as this RGKT string. After processing into this RGKT string, then we need to access the k from this thing. How to access k from this thing? Again, we need to specify the character corresponding to that k. So character k presented the location of 0, 1, 2, 3, which is presented the tar location. So whenever you execute this thing, you can access the any character. It is the nested slicing and it is a very important thing. So coming to basic slicing, it is similar to normal slicing only. Whenever you want to access the string, here you need to specify this thing. Sorry, yeah. Whenever you specify this thing, it will print the entire string. Whenever you want to access the specific portion, you need to specify that basic thing. And if you want to reverse the anything, or if you want to reverse the list attributes, here we need to specify lf : -1. It is the standard syntax to reverse a list or string or any data structure. To reverse any data structure, it is the standard syntax : ::1. So here it is about basics of this list. After this thing, we will discuss the basic of tuple. After that, we will proceed to the list functions. It is about all the basics of this thing. After this thing, tuple. So coming to tuple, whatever the data type which is specified in this parenthesis, that will be considered as tuple data type. Whatever the attributes which are defined in this parenthesis, that will be considered as tuple data type. And this tuple attributes also, so whatever the values you specify without any brackets, and if you separate the attributes with the commas, that is also treated as a tuple data type or only, like that. So it is a first difference between list and tuple. List attributes are defined in the square brackets and tuple attributes are defined in this parenthesis. After that thing, without brackets, with the comma separated values also, we can create a tuple. I will explain you this thing, then you will get the clarity of this thing. After this thing, second point is same. Attributes, tuple attributes also separated with commas only. Coming to next thing, these are immutable data types, means these are like strings only. Whenever, so the real-time application of this thing is whenever you want to store the some data in the form of security purposes. If you want to store some data for security purposes, better to go with this tuple data structure. Whereas in the future, if you want to manipulate the data, if you want to change the data, better to go with the list data structure. So coming to this thing, next point is these are immutable data types or not changeable data types. That means once you define the tuple, you can't modify that tuple. And to convert any other data type in the tuple, we have tuple typecasting function. Like list, these are also ordered collection of items, and like list, these are heterogeneous collection of items. Difference between list and tuple is these are defined in square brackets and these are defined in parentheses. And these are mutable data types and these are immutable data types. That is the major difference tuple. So to make it clear this thing, here I'm defining the tuple within the parenthesis. Initially I'm saying 1 comma 2.8. I want to take only two attributes to save the time. Here I'm saying 2.8 and I'm running this portion and I want to observe the type of t. Whenever you say type of t, it will return output like tuple only. And I'm defining one more tuple with the same thing. Here I'm separating each and every attribute with commas and I'm running this portion and I'm observing. So you might get it out like, so it will be considered this tuple. For the purpose, here I'm changing. Yeah, I'm not changing that thing. Here I want to change this thing. Here I'm replacing this thing with a. And after this thing, I want to check type of a. Whenever you check the type of a, again it returns tuple only. So as I already told you, by default, comma separated values also treated as a tuple data type only. To check the type of any data type, we need to use type function, which is used to know the data type. After this thing, so tuple attributes also separated with commas only. Here also we can define heterogeneous data. That's why these are called as heterogeneous or compound data type. After this thing, once you define the tuple, we can't modify the tuple, right? So initially here I'm saying t of 1 at this location I want to replace with 3.8, 3.7. So if you try this thing, it will return error like this. Tuple object does not support item assignment. That means once you define the tuple, you can't modify the tuple. That's why these are said as immutable or not changeable data types. After this thing, we have one more thing. We have one more thing. What is it? I think corresponding to this thing, all finds are clear. These are ordered collection of items, and these are also heterogeneous or compound data types. These are the basics corresponding to this tuple data structures. After this thing, this plus sign, this star operators. These are the very important operators coming to data structures or strings concept. Whenever you want to perform the concatenation operation or appending operation, we need to use this plus symbol. And whenever you want to repeat something, then we need to use star symbol, that is repetition operator. To make you clear this thing, here I'm taking the list. I will take the smaller list to make you clear this example. In this list, I am specifying these elements. After specifying this thing, here I am saying L plus. So with this, I want to add few more elements. Those are 4 comma 5 comma 6. Whenever you want to add few elements to this thing, we need to use this plus symbol. So whenever you specify the plus symbol between different data structures, this will be concatenated or added at the end. Concatenation is nothing but attaching something at the end. So for this list, here I am attaching one more list at the end. That is nothing but concatenation or appending operation. So if you observe this thing, L plus 4, someone might ask you this question in interview. It is a simple tricky interview question. If you execute this portion, it will return an error. It will return an error. So remember this thing, whenever you want to perform concatenation or appending operation by using plus symbol, both the data types should be iterable object. Both the data structures should be iterable object, or else both the data structures will be belongs to same data type. So here, if you want to add or if you want to extend one list with another list, then only we need to use this appending operator. So if you observe this example, in this example, first one is the list and second one is an integer value. In between the data structure and integer number, concatenation won't takes place. That is the explanation for this thing. If you want to perform this concatenation operation, both the data type should belongs to same. Both the data type should be belongs to same data structure. After this thing, if you want to perform the repetition operator, so in this example here I'm saying L of 5 comma 6. Whenever you execute this thing, again it also returns an error. So if you execute this thing, again it also returns an error. Why means, if you want to perform this repetition operator, one should be belongs to an integer data structure. If you want to perform this repetition operation, one should be belongs to an integer data structure or data type. So here I'm saying L into 3. Whenever you say L into 3, this list attributes will be repeated 3 times. Whenever you say something into 3. So here I said into 3, which is nothing but I want to repeat the attributes of this list into 3 times. So here if you observe this list, here we have 1 comma 2 comma 3. In this example, these are repeated 3 times. So I'm modifying this thing, and here I'm specifying 2 only. Whenever you specify 2, these attributes are repeated only 2 times. This is about repetition or concatenation operator. One more interview question is this thing. I'm defining this thing. In this bracket, in this parenthesis, here I'm specifying single value. After this thing, I want to know the data type. So whenever you define the value with the parenthesis, if you check the data type of that thing, what it returns. This is an interview question. So here answer will be, it will return integer value. It will return integer value. Whenever you specify the single value without the comma in the parenthesis, that will be considered as a data type which you are specifying on that parenthesis. Whenever you specify the value without comma in the parenthesis, that will be considered as the data type which you define there. In this example, we specified 4, whereas I want to modify this 4 with a high. So it is returning output like string. Whatever the data type you are specifying in this parenthesis, that will be written as a final data type. And if you want to return this output as a tuple, here we need to specify at least 1 comma in this parenthesis. Now it will return data type as a tuple data structure. That is the question, and it is the explanation for that thing. Whenever you want to get the tuple as an output, there you should have at least 1 comma. Whereas coming to list, we don't have such kind of restriction. Whatever the thing which is present in this square bracket, that will be considered as list data structure only. For the list, we don't have this kind of restriction. And I'm observing type of A, it will return output like list only. So after this thing, we have different functions corresponding to this list. Out of those functions, first function is the append function. To add something at the end of the list, we need to use this append function. If you observe this list content, here in this list, we have 1 comma 2 comma 3. If you want to add something at the end of the list, we need to use this append function. By using this append function, here I'm saying 4. So whenever you specify this thing, and if you observe the output corresponding to this thing, this 4 will be added at the end of this list. Whenever you want to add, or if you want to append any value at the end of the list, we need to use this append operator, append function. So here it is an internal function which is used to add any element at the end of the list. Like this, we have external function, length function, which is used to know the length of the list. If you observe the length of this thing, here we have 4 attributes. To get the number of values present in this list or any data structures, we need to use length function. Here I'm checking length of L, it returns output as a 4. In this list, we have 4 attributes. Like append function, we have one more function, that is an extend function. If you want to extend one data structure with the another data structure, we need to use this extend function. In this extend function, here I'm specifying 4 comma 5 comma 6. And I'm running this portion. Whenever you run this portion and after observing the output, these values will be updated in this list. So if you observe this example, L dot extend means here I'm performing every operation on the left side data structure. Here in this left side, we have list. In this list, we are extending this list with this attributes. Here we are adding these attributes to this original list. In this list, initially we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and for this list now we are adding 4 comma 5 comma 6. If you observe this output, these values will be added in this original list. So if you want to add only one attribute in the list, we need to use append function. Whereas if you want to extend one list with the another list, we need to use extend function. In place of this extend function, we can use this plus symbol also. In this example here, I'm saying 7 comma 8 comma 9. So whenever you perform this plus operation also, same thing takes place. Someone might ask you this question in interview. What is the difference between append, extend, and this concatenation operator. So whenever you say like this, I'm saying to make you clear this example, I'm taking this example, L dot up and up. In this thing, here I'm specifying, yeah, what I want to specify. Yeah, I want to specify two values, 2 7 8 comma 9, and I'm running this thing. Sorry, it is giving error. Why? Because in this append function, we need to specify only one attribute. I'm defining one list, and after this thing, I'm observing the output present in this list. Whenever you observe the output corresponding to this thing, this entire list will be considered as a single value only. It is this entire list will be added as a single value only. That means we are concatenating this entire data structure at the end of this data structure. Whenever you want to add one value at the end of the list, we need to use append function. Whereas if you want to extend one data structure, or if you want to append all the attributes corresponding to one data structure into another data structure, we need to use this extend function. Coming to difference between this extend and this concatenation operator, whenever you use extend function, that list will be extended, that list will be modified permanently. So whenever you apply extend function, that list will be modified permanently. Whereas whenever you apply the concatenation operator, it will return output for only one instance. That is the difference between extend function as well as append function. So till now we saw append function, extend function. The next insert function. If you want to insert the any value at the specific location, we need to use insert function. For this insert function, we have specific syntax, that is this thing. So first we need to specify the data structure name. The next we need to use insert function. The next in this insert function, we need to specify the index at which you want to keep the value. And after keeping that index, we need to specify the value. So if you want to insert the any value at the specific location, we need to use this insert function. In this example, I'm observing the output. Yeah. And I want to remove the value which is present at the last in this remove function. If you want to remove the any value corresponding to list, we need to use remove function. By using this remove function, I want to remove this attribute. So after this thing, I'm observing the output corresponding to this thing. Whenever you observe this thing from this list, this value will be discarded. That means removed. Whenever you want to remove the specific value from the list, we need to use remove function. After this thing, we need to perform insert operation, right? So by using this insert function, I want to insert the value at the first location, and I want to replace with the Python. I want to replace the value Python at the first index, and I'm executing this portion. Whenever you execute this portion and if you observe the output, this the value which is present at the first location will be filled with this Python. So if you want to keep the any value at the desired location, we need to use this insert function. In this insert function, first you need to specify the index, the next you need to specify the value. After this insert function, we have sort function. So to sort all the attributes in ascending or descending order, we need to use this sort function. So if you specify this sort function, by default, it sorts all the attributes in ascending order. Whereas if you want to perform the sorting in descending order, in this sort function, here, let us assume in this thing, yeah, we have list, right? So whenever you want to perform this sorting operation, all the data types inside this list, all the data types should belongs to same data type. So for that purpose, here I'm removing the value which is presented the here. I want to remove the Python from this thing. So after removing that thing, yeah. So by default, it is in sorted order only. Whereas I want to sort this thing in reverse order. Whenever you want to sort something in reverse order, in this thing, we need to specify reverse equals to true. Here in this thing, we need to specify reverse equals to true. Whenever you specify reverse equals to true, it will sort everything in descending order. So with this, I am concluding for today. Tomorrow we will discuss remaining functions corresponding to this list data structure, and I will give tuple data structures as an assignment. And in the tomorrow's class itself, I will finish set as well as dictionary concepts. After that thing, so if yeah, if those concepts are not covered, yeah, tomorrow I will finish